We are live. That's a quickie. It's getting quicker, you know. So you've muted yourself, you daft beggar.
Well, that's because
we're supposed to say
that beggar in the background is running water, and I didn't want it to be heard. But I
don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. We are the Mad Scientist. I'm Mad Frankie. Somewhere down here. There we are. This is Violet Tiger over here. And together we make the Mad Scientist.
Together again?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice heart. Okay, I'm going to chomp on you, and I'm going to go away.
Okay.
There you go.
Right. Well, I will go in one more because I want to be a little bit closer.
Okay.
Because I noticed on the last stream we did with watercolors, trying to show
granulation,
it was pitiful because you could not see it at all. I was way too far away. I was sort of like double arm's length away it looked. So this,
I don't know about you, but I'm not a professional, so I'm just doing the best that I can.
Well, I bought myself a camera and the microphone in the hopes of getting a little bit more professional, and so it really grinds at me if I don't set the camera up properly.
I know.
That's what you're there for.
Well, I try to tell you, but sometimes you're like, okay, can't be bothered. Moving on.
Sorry.
I want to see this. Yeah, hold it up
here.
Closer.
So that if I hold it up any closer, is that going to focus in anymore, or is it?
Oh yeah, your camera's beautiful. I could.
There, I think it's more focused there.
Now, do you notice on the right there's a bit of a glare?
Yep, it's this light over here. I just turn it away a bit.
That's
a bit
nice.
better, isn't it?
That's very nice.
So I still got the light, but it's pointing at my brushes.
Right.
Fine.
Look at all the way to the left. There's some nice granulation there. I like that.
Let me explain what this is. Now, this is just a strip of Bockingfoot, I think it is. So it's the decent kind of paper that I normally use. And what I've done is I've cut a piece off when I was doing those swatches of the schminkies. So I cut that off, and that gave me that piece. So I've created this sort of wavy thing so that I can look at making waves, because I've got two somewhere, which I put down there, two beach scenes. This one, which as you can see, there's quite a lot of wavy looking things here, where the paint spread out in the water beautifully. I thought, just wonderfully. So I can do it on that one. And I've also got this one, which has another wavy pattern done in the same way as the other one, but this one has done it a bit differently. Possibly a different colour paint has acted in a different way, because it is a different shade to that one. So it's possible that it was because I used a different paint. I wasn't really paying attention to that. Perhaps I should have. But it just seems to me that this is awfully like the tip of a wave. Just needs some white highlights here and there and some streaks in it. So that's what this is for. So that I can test out streaks and things. And I've been testing them out on the back of this piece of paper, testing out what was the best brush to use. And I'm thinking that there's a couple of options here. I've tried lots. These are all riggers, so they're okay, but the smaller the better. And this one is nice and thin. So is that one, but it's a bit further down. It means it can hold more water. This one's what I would pick as a thin brush for making lines, but it's a number one of whatever this thing is called. What I mean is it's quite fat around here, near the ferrule, and it's not particularly attenuated at the other end. Whereas this rigger it's quite attenuated at this end, which means I can get a lovely line, as you can see from these and these. So that's a possible. And that one's probably a possible too, because it doesn't have a great deal of hair there. and that's a Nick Pro 3. Well, let me show you how I've been trying it out. We'll get some of that turquoise there, and I'm getting quite good thin lines, aren't I? The quicker you move, the smoother the line. If you try and do it slowly, you're going to get jagged. Oh, of course, that time I didn't get it too jagged. But if you do it smoothly, in a smooth action, and they do say that if you use more of your arm than your hand, so you're not holding it down here, you're holding it up here, then you can get a lovely smooth stroke. But that's really, I think, only if you go over a larger area. I think I need to be a little bit closer like that. That's a better look for me. So that's possible. And then there's a couple of other brushes here that are possible. This one has a lot of thinned out bristles at the tip. And that, I've tried that on this green. And it does work quite well. It's a bit full there, though, so you need it to be not too much water in this, more pigment than water, or more pigment than I have down there, so that it's got a chance to splay out a bit, the tips of the brush to splay out a bit. So that's a good one. Look at that. That's lovely, that one.
No, we can't see it. Yeah, bring it up closer. Tilt it a little bit.
See how lovely that long is?
Yeah, it's still not coming through very clearly. Tilt it a little bit to the long end or the short end down. Yeah. Oh, now there you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. I'll do another stroke at the top here, and I'll go in one more. Zoom in once more. And I'll do another one here. Look at this one here now. Let me push this, direct this light a bit further away. Now let's see if we can see it there. That's quite nice because it's dry brushing a little bit. So you've got a broken line. I like that. That's lovely for waves, I think. So there's that. I've got this piece of tissue here so as to make sure I've got as much colour out as possible. And I've got loads of water, so that this one with the green isn't the only one. It's just the one I've been rinsing these in. I've got another one there that's clear. So I'm just putting it out of the way so I don't knock it over. Well, hope I don't knock it over. So that's a good one. Two others are this one, which is a smaller version of this. That's quite nice. I got some quite nice lines with that, which are these ones here, which you can't see so well unless there we are. You can see now.
Now I can see
upright ones. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's good. And the other one I liked is this one. Now this one is especially good because not only will it create lines, but you can create straight lines like that. Oh, just a minute. Let me add a bit more color into that area. Like that. And like that. Again, a slightly broken line, which is lovely. And also, you can go like this. So you can get different length lines simply by tilting and using this brush at an angle. So you're not using it straight up like that. You're using it at an angle like that.
Right.
So you can get a nice variation, I think. But the best for me is always going to be the rigger, because then you can take your time and do it the way you want. And I won't be doing this with these colours. Well, I will, but a little bit, but I'll be mostly using white. And I've got some gouache here. I was just putting it out when you turned up, actually. So I need to put a little bit more out than that. because the gouache should show up against the blue that I've already got down without soaking the blue up. But then I want a little tiny bit of blue. So I've put 2 blobs of white gouache on here so that I can mix it with a little of this turquoise, or with this, what's that one called, a transparent turquoise, or with this permanent green light here. And I wouldn't use these plain, I wouldn't use that plain, but that one is the cobalt teal. That's another good one, that little one. So that's what I'm using. And when you look at this, you can see that if I put a little bit of that teal, not the teal, the transparent turquoise, on my palette, rinse out my brush again, grab a little bit of the white. I think that's a little too dark yet. A bit more of that. I just want a faintest tint on the white. I don't want it too strong, so it's going to be a really pale colour. You're only going to see it on the blue. You see? You won't see it so well on the white. You'll barely see it. See?
Yeah, I see it.
Then I'm going to let me dry that now that I've done that. To turn it over. Right. So what I've seen done is people do this sort of thing. Which I can barely see, so I'm going to add some more.
Barely see them. There you go. Could see that a bit better.
That's like the foam, or then you've got, say, something like well, this shows me that it was a good idea to test it out first. Perhaps better to do something more like, let's get most of that paint off. We don't want so much. Like, so I've been watching wave tutorials, and I don't say that they've exactly made a lot of difference to my painting techniques. I've never done waves before, so this is all a learning experience. And we've got to learn somehow, haven't we?
It's just a bit of mark making, actually.
It's all it is, yes.
Yeah, very fine mark making here.
Yeah. But not as fine as I would like.
Yeah.
I think I need more water with it. Slightly wetter. So. I think these little straggly bits look better in the bit down the bottom, like that. The darker patch, in other words. So they look more like the foam left over, you know? And if you get a blob like that, I'm going to lift that up. Because it's too blobby. And then try to point my brush a little better.
I don't know if it makes a difference, but I found that I have better success and successful results if I mop up with using a tissue rather than a paper kitchen towel.
It all depends on what you've got. Oh,
Yeah, I suppose.
there we are. I've got a probably better to turn the image round. It's sort of making sort of cells and separating them out. So that's the kind of thing. But I'm not liking this much. Let's try another one over here. Let's try with that big one and see what that does. Yeah. Or perhaps with that one. I think we'll try with... let's try with this one first. Try these upright ones. Now that's not right at all. But it actually looks quite good when you look at it that way around. I'm not keen. Let's try with the bigger one. I think the reason I liked the bigger one better was because the spaces are larger between the cuts. Cuts are wider apart. Just trying to get too much of this out, so it's less fulsome. Yeah. Let's try. Now that's better. I like that better. That's missing quite a bit here and there, but I like that. I like it. I think it's looks more natural. Don't you think? Than the single lines?
Yeah, they're more in sync, more of a flow rather than
yes, exactly. More than my silly attempt to get it.
Well, you don't know until you try.
Yeah, well, that just shows it was a good idea to get a test piece.
I like that. Yep. Definitely.
Yep. So I think that was a good test. The trouble is that I don't think it's going to work on this because the waves in this are much smaller than those ones were. These waves are giant in comparison. I don't think it's going to work in quite the way I think it's going to work. But I think I'm going to need a bit more of the turquoise, transparent turquoise for this. So I think I'm going to need a bit of that. No. So let's give it a go. Down here. It's actually not too bad. I quite like that. I don't say it's perfect, but I quite like it. That's not too bad at all.
I'm wondering, well, you went from, okay, keep going. Just keep going doing your thing because you'll go.
Now carry on.
Okay, there you go. Well, you're going to end up doing what I'm thinking anyway. It's just the way you hold the brush and the way you swipe. So
Yeah.
from bottom to top or from top to bottom. Just I like that right there, what you're doing. A bit of frothy white caps.
Well, that's what the gouache is for as well. So that will come in at the top here.
Yeah, at the top. What you're doing is more like it's hitting the beach, the sand.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's nice and scatty over here. That's a little bit regular, but that was me going overboard.
Put your hand onto the right so it'll block the light so I can see that side better. There you
In
go.
one moment.
That's nice. Yeah, you put it in shadow so I could. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold it up. Push it up. There you go. Look at that. That's nice right there. Now you can really see what you did. Very nice. What was that last brush you used?
This one.
The big one, yeah. Okay.
So what I'm thinking is I'll try with this one. I'll try with this one on just the white gouache. And I'll use the tissue to mop up some water. I don't want it to be too clumpy, hopefully. Declump that. That's better. That's nicely declumped. Let's see what we can get at the top here. And I think I also need the rigger again because I need to put a bit more into it than that. I'll leave that brush there for the moment. I think I need a lot more white here than I've got. This needs to be a bit more watery. There's a lovely little piece there that I want to catch. Again, this is only a practice piece because I think this other piece is the better result. So it will. I want to do it on this piece first before I go on to that one, because I'm not so bothered about this piece whether it works or not. And I think there needs to be more gaps between the waves, but I'm taking advantage of the shapes that are already there. You see. So there are shapes already here. here. Oh, there seems to be another one in the background there, so let's have a go at that. A bit more of it for this. I don't mind that this is a bit thicker, you see. Yeah, I mean, the practice showed me that this is going to be a bit thicker.
Yeah. I
So,
could see if you had put a bit more curve on the waves on the left in some areas.
yeah,
That looks really well, but the one you're right in there, yeah.
a bit too high up. Yes, not
Yeah. Well,
rounded enough.
but you can work with that. You can work with it. I mean, it's nature, isn't it?
Yeah,
It isn't
yeah,
controlled. And then you might find actually once the waves, if they're frothy, once the waves hit the beach, there'll be a bit of froth left on the beach. Now I don't
yeah.
know if you can see that in your mind's eye, or there you
I
go.
understand that because I've been studying people doing it. So yeah,
Uh, little bits of splatter, very nice.
trying not to get quite so close at that one, but luckily it wasn't too bad.
Right. And I was
Really need something stiffer.
I'm messy and terrible with splatters, and I learned that with watercolor, if you have it quite wet, you do a little bit better.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to add a bit more to it.
Yeah.
Except,
When you go that far.
yeah, I don't go that far. That's too
Yep.
far. So let's have this and pop it there. Better. Right, let's see if I can get some there without so much.
I love where this is going.
When I first saw what the water had done to the paint, this is what I was thinking about. But I had to go back and study loads of watercolor waves to see if I could get it a bit closer to my idea.
Yeah.
The trouble is, what you've got in your head, even if you haven't got a mind's eye, what you've got in your head is not always the same as what somebody else is painting.
Well, you're doing very well, dear.
Pull this back over here so I don't get in too much. There. I must admit, I was really scared to try this. You see how long it's been since I did the water.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a while since we've hung out. So yeah.
That long, at least, if not longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do to that.
But you spent the
And of
time
course,
well if this is what is the result of that.
I think I got some spatters in the sky despite everything.
Oh, they're just openings in the
Those
cloud.
are just openings in the cloud, those, yes. The other bits I've got off were. So there's that. So what I want to do now is this. Didn't I use one of the granulating paints for that?
I'm not sure on this one. Did you? Yeah. Yes, you did. Yeah.
Or did I use one of those?
You know, we're going to start writing.
Aquarius brown, and that's the tint.
We're going to start writing in pencil on the back what you used on some of these.
Yeah, it might be a good idea. Because going back and trying to find
the video, you
video,
don't have a moment to stop and look at that video right now.
I can try this on here. Now that's too bright. That's too bright. Let me move that out of the way and that a bit further away. And that a bit further up. And I can push this up so you can see the sand, which is what I'm testing against. Let me try that on. That one is Aquarius brown. Now the Aquarius brown is too bright. The other one was better. The burnt sienna, Blue Ridge burnt sienna. I think it was the Blue Ridge burnt sienna. Now I think it's quite possible. So let's get some more Blue Ridge burnt sienna. And I'll put some down there. And get a bit more down there with some of that white gouache. And I think I'll make another little puddle next to it. Yeah. But with the, how do you pronounce that? Also Indoline yellow. Yes, I think some of that ISO Indoline yellow will be a good idea. Yes, try that. See, you're going to get some. And I think you probably have some of this, maybe a little bit darker. What's that one? Iron Chrome Brown. Might be a bit too dark, but let's just go with this that we were using. For the forefront of the wave of the
Excuse me.
rinse that a bit because it's gouache. Now back to the in ISO Indoline yellow with some gouache. Good to help if you actually get some colour down there. I think I need a bit more of that ISO. ISO Indoline. A bit more. It's a little on the bright side, so a little bit more of the gouache. And I'm trying to take advantage of some of the shapes that are already there, created by the drying paint before. There's quite a bit of it here. I'm adding a little bit here and there, a little bit more. And there will be some more white added as well, because some of this is sort of showing through the underneath from the sand. And there will be some of it that is so fumy that it will show up more white than anything else. Move this over so I can see a bit more of what we've got here. And I think I might spread a bit more of this blue. But not much, I don't think. Let's leave it for now. Maybe not. So you've got some white here already from the paper.
I know you have to be in a position to see it, but you're totally off camera.
Sorry. Well, I can move this further over. Don't need to keep moving up. Then I don't have the urge to pull it back down. That's better, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Still using the gouache with the iso Indoline yellow. It's a little bit in the shadow there from that, which is helpful to you, but not quite so helpful to me. Let's try with a bit more white now. I actually quite like this kind of slow thing where you... Oh, not that kind of slow thing. Let's get a bit thicker paint than that. I'll put quite a lot of water over there, and that's probably not the best idea. Now, make sure I haven't got too much on the brush. That's better. I can't remember where I was. Never mind. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going around the exit side. I'm not happy about that being quite that big. It's because the yellow's there, that's why I did it. I wanted to change it to a bit of white. Might want that line a bit darker even than it is now. The other thing to do with a painting like this, when you're not sure about it, not when you think it's definitely wrong, but when you're actually not sure, best thing to do is to walk away from it. Do something else to do, and then come back and have another look.
And that's what I was going to remind you that I thought I had mentioned when you first created this, you weren't very happy with it. You even threw in the boat just to
yeah. Well, I thought there wasn't much there to see, but
yeah, and
I'm thinking now the boat might have been a mistake, but it's working. It's still working.
I like the boat, but it's not the it's just part of it. It's not like a focal point or anything.
No, it's not meant to be. Yeah.
So exactly, so it worked. But like I said, walk away, go do something else, and come back and see it with fresh eyes. I have a delivery I have to go get. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I'll keep muttering to myself. See, I want white there, but I don't want to get rid of all of the yellow. So let's just do it where I haven't got so much yellow. I'll probably have to come back and put a bit more of the darker brown on, because I don't want to lose that. So there's a bit more here with a nice ridge of brown. Allowing the brush to wiggle is a good idea, I think, because you want something that's not precise. You want something that looks more natural. I do like to keep going over here to the palette I've got here, and I'm pointing the tip, rolling the paintbrush to point the tip so that I get a better point on it. Trying to. I'm not very handy, so it doesn't always work. That's too big. I don't like it. Get it up before it dries, because once gouache is dry, you're done. Good. I'm sorry, I'm inclined to sort of whistle or hum when I'm doing something I enjoy. Must be terribly, terribly distracting. I'm putting a little white in amongst the dark colory bits there as well, because this is the flatter bit and this is about to crash down on it. I really need a little bit more of darkness underneath some of those ridges, I think.
Well, I got a package and it's defective. It needs to be returned or replaced.
Oh dear.
Nothing big, but I ordered.
Is that from Temu?
It's what?
Is that from Temu?
No. I ordered some micron pens with plastic nibs because I'm using them a lot to doodle, and the nibs are on the regular ones are of a felt,
Yeah.
I believe, and I'm pretty destructive on them. So I knew they had ones with plastic nibs that hold up better. When you're using this over watercolor or acrylics, you know, it wears down that felt nib.
Yeah.
Or whatever that other nib is made of. So I wanted the plastic nibs, and I get the package from. It's 6 pens, but I just got it. There's only 5 in the package, and it's taped up.
Yeah, that's not right. No.
So you betcha. It's we're going to contact the seller.
Where's my missing pen?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and why do I get a why did somebody yeah.
Why can somebody not count? Because it says 6 in the corner there. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops.
Well, not only that, but like I said, it's been opened.
Yeah.
It's been opened. So it's not acceptable.
No. I'm just wondering if this little 00 paintbrush might give me slightly finer lines. I'm not sure. Give it a go and find out. No, not much. What is this liner called? It's a naught. It's a Winsor and Newton one. Little single hair poking out. That's not right. Look at that. I can actually get smaller spots there than I got with the drips.
You have a lot more patience than me to do that then.
Well, it's fun. It's relaxing. Use it as therapy. You don't have to go mad at everything. And you know when you've run out because it stops making a mark. And you can put them more precisely where you want them as well. So that's good. Of course, you don't want them everywhere. That's my trouble. I can sit there for hours and put so many that when I finish, I look and go, it's too many. So that's my trouble. And I wanted a bit more amongst these as well. Didn't I? That's what I said to myself. Just want to try to go with the same direction as the little bits were going in. Join it up with the beachy stuff. And some more in the front here. Got nothing there. bit more there. And some there. Quite like that. Yes, I think that's about right. I may touch this up with something else later, but I'm leaving that like that at the moment. I may mix, yes, I think I'll mix a bit of this with some of the brown to get a medium mix. I'm going lightly over some areas. Especially some I've gone over with the white, which are one or two places I've done that. Like there. And a bit there. A bit there. And a little bit just there. And there. And break it up a little bit in here and there, as if it's coming back from the like that. You probably can't see this. Well, maybe you can. That little pointy bit, as if the wave is receding a little bit and pulling back wet sand. There's another piece there that can do the same. And one there. And you can look up at what you're doing up there to see how it's looking in the bigger. And I'm liking that. Yes, I think I'm done for now. But that's a test. I mean, that's not brilliant. As you said before, these pieces in the middle are not in the right direction quite.
Well, they are, because if you see where the sun's coming down, that could be called, it's called a riptide.
Yeah.
Where the tide comes in, where the water comes in together in opposite directions, and it causes like a riptide.
Yeah.
So you could have those curves of the waves going different directions.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that the little piece in the middle to the left, in the middle, seems like it could be a little more, a little farther to the left. The middle, in that little area there, the wave streaks that you used with the streak brush.
Yeah.
They could be a little more angled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To match the ones farther left.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that these are straighter up because they're right in front of you.
Yep.
And those are getting further to your left, so they're going in greater angle. It's what I'm thinking. I don't know whether that's right or not. I need to go back and have a look at some of those tutorials and find out.
Well, if you could take all the ones on the right, and just flip that over and put it on the left, like mirror it.
Yeah.
That would be good.
I can always go over it with a few more.
But unless you were picky, I think it looks beautiful as is. But you're the artist.
Is that better?
Is it better? Does it look better to you?
It does, actually. Does it look better to you?
Yeah.
I'll continue it here then. It's a bit more of a jumble there then. This needs a thorough wash. Oh, green and streaky. I'm a messy painter. Right. I feel inclined to put a little bit even darker under some of these bits here. Or perhaps just to put something up front here. I'll have to have a look at some other photos, pictures, anything to see what I can see. But I think I'll leave that for now at the moment. Right?
I like it. I like it. I like it very much.
Dare I do anything to this one? See, if I'm going to do anything to this one, it'll have to be very minimal. And I think it's more likely to be some white along the top here than much else. To start with, at least. Let me put some more white on the palette. That's some damp tissues right under my elbow. That's not fun. Better have a dry one. I've got a very stormy sort of looking bit there. I guess it's kind of helpful to look constantly at waves. Feeling a little bit more confident than I was.
Well, I think it's time you and Ian took a trip to the beach. Or maybe it's too soon. It's too soon in the year.
March.
Yeah, if your weather is like ours, you might want to wait a while, but
Well, we've got a trip planned for March. Well, not a
you
trip.
do.
Sail out and
Where are you going?
just out into the bay and back again.
Hey, that's like us. We go to the big river and back again, right?
Well, this is the trip that was given to Ian as a retirement present, and it's a sailing barge, and it goes around and around, and it's on Mothering Sunday, and it comes back to land and docks, and then you get Sunday lunch on board.
Well, I could be pushing it here, but I think you should take your video camera and get some video. And if it needs editing, I can do that for you and put it up. Just a thought.
Does that look all right?
That looks very nice. I love the part on the right. The part on the right looks so cool, like waves coming in.
Yeah.
The other looks like splashes, so it needs a bit of those fine lines underneath it.
Yeah.
But the ones on the right look like a big wave coming in, like a surfer wave. I like it.
Well, that's what I thought when I looked at it. That's what I thought. I thought it looked like that's one big wave.
Yep.
This was a bit more bitty, so it's going to need a bit more
choppy, like
combining. Yes. I'm actually preferring putting little dots on myself than doing the blops, the specks. I think that works better. Yeah, I think that works better. Yes, I like that better than going splash, splash. I do like that much better, I think. It's all very well, just going like this and hoping for the best, but actually I prefer being a bit more deliberate with it. That was always my trouble, which is why I wanted to get into the looser watercolory things, which, well, I don't know whether I am or I aren't when I'm putting little tiny dots of white in just to satisfy my feelings. So I want some more green in this. Some of this here to mix with it. It's quite strong, that colour. Okay. Now I want to do some mixing with this. That might work quite nicely. I'm not using the liner brush because it doesn't work so well unless you use the big thingy. It seems to work a bit better. Let's see if I can. A little bit on there.
Russ is taking my package back to the he's taking it to the store where they'll return it.
Uh-huh.
Good job with those waves. I like that. Good job. Good direction. A nice curve.
I'm finding I need to wipe off on here because I don't want it too smudgy. And then I've got a better chance of getting something a bit finer. Right, I think that's enough of that. I'm trying to be a bit less, putting a bit less in. Let's see. I'm trying to.
So now I'm back to square one without pens, with the plastic nibs. I was really looking forward to playing with those. What do you want to do? I think you captured the waves very nicely here.
Well, they were really there for me, weren't they? That was the great thing about it. That was what I liked about it so much.
Yeah. But you've really
sorry.
Using now, are you using the gouache? Yes, you're using the gouache.
Yes, I'm using the gouache.
Using that to make the curves of the waves, and the way you're making the curves, nice curves, not just really enhances that look. It really, I think everything you did in the other painting, you're now showing it in this one.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
You didn't like the splatter effect in the last painting, so you didn't use it this time.
Yeah.
And it's showing. I like it. I also like what I see here. The beach area is less. You haven't done anything to it yet. Now, the other one got me thinking that I was seeing ant runs.
Oh, right. I might not do anything to this. It's quite good as it is.
It is quite good as it is. I like it just as it is. I like the part to the left and top of the sand area between the water and the sand, it's very light blue, and it's beautiful. It's like where the water would recede.
Yeah.
Good job. I know that was purposeful and not purposeful, but it's
Well, it was. I put the salt on with the hope that it might happen. Basically.
Yeah, good job.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, I've used salt for quite a while now, and I used to use salt ages ago when I did watercolor. And being reintroduced to it, I just sort of love the patterning so much that I've used it rather a lot. And perhaps somebody might say it was reused too much up here, but I think it looks like snow, and you do get snow on the beach because I've seen it.
Someone doesn't get to say that. This is your art. If they want it to look different, they should do their art. I'm getting more and more that I'm saying that this is your art. Do the waves look good to you? How do you feel about what you're creating here?
I like it. I'm liking this one. It's turning out better than I'd hoped.
Right? And I've told you before, if you're not liking something, it's not complete. Don't discard it, set it aside, revisit it, see where your eye goes, because you're like the rest of us. You're a work in progress and you're learning all the time.
Yeah. Well, I certainly hope so. I've always liked learning.
Yeah, and you could come back if you didn't like something, you could come back and go, "Oh, now I can see something I can do with that." So somebody else doesn't get to tell you that you've used too much salt or you've too many white caps or whatever. That's their vision, not yours.
Yeah.
And I make suggestions to you, but I still like to say, let's see what you come up with on your own. And for someone who doesn't have a mind's eye, pretty darn awesome, woman.
Yeah, I've heard there are people who don't have an interior monologue either.
Internal monologue. Yeah, my bonus daughter asked about that.
Yeah. Well, I have one of those.
Yeah. I've not met anyone who doesn't, but that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Oh, yes, I've seen videos on it. Yes.
Oh, okay. What a peaceful life they must have.
Well, they look very happy. And one girl who said that she didn't have either a mind's eye or an internal monologue, she said she was perfectly okay. You know, didn't see what the problem was. And of course, that's the point, isn't it? That it isn't a problem. If you're perfectly happy, it's not a problem.
It's the norm. If it's the norm for you, then why is it anyone else's business?
Yeah, exactly.
If it doesn't hurt,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're all different. We're all the same. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
I had a little girl my mom used to babysit, had 5 fingers.
Uh-huh.
She had no thumb. She had 5 fingers.
Uh-huh.
She could do everything my kids could do.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't a problem.
No. Only becomes a problem when some manic Bible pusher says it's wrong.
No, you don't get to do that to me. See you, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not part of my inner circle. Go away. But I like, this is what I was telling Russ, because we both have internal monologue. And I think his is more so than mine, because over the years, I've learned that whatever that voice is and it's inside, if it's being negative, I tell it to shut up.
Yeah.
And if
that is something I have had a great deal of difficulty with.
Well, here's a trick I do. I'm very good at telling it to shut up. I don't have to listen to you. You're not the boss of me. You're not nice. I don't like you. Go away. And if that isn't enough, then I will come up with a song that I will sing. And if I have to sing it out loud, I'll sing it out loud repetitively.
Uh-huh.
to shut the voices up. And it's gotten to be, it's very easy for me to go, okay, I'm not listening to you anymore. Because it's just me listening to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I can tell me to shut up inside there, and I can control what I want to think about. Like, I've changed my mind. I don't want to listen to you talk negative to me. I want to listen to me talk about the next drawing I'm going to do, or the next project I'm going to do, or so it's I'm in control. It's like, holy cow, it took me too long to learn that. But that's what I was telling Russ the other night. I says, honey, you could just tell yourself to shut up. You might have to do it a number of times. You might have to put yourself in timeout. But, there's things you could do. Start singing a song. And then he came to me the other day and he said, I can't get that song out of my head now. And I'm like, could be worse. Could be a lot worse. You could be hearing
I love that. Oh dear, I could just hear Ian saying the same thing.
Yeah, I can't get that song out of my head. Ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. It's a dog flea commercial. And that's the song from it. It's like every now and then we both come out with that. It's like, okay, we need to stop thinking about something. So we start singing that song or some other song. It's like, it works. It works. We're the boss. We get to tell ourselves to shut up and think of something else.
Very good.
Can't be bothered.
I'm getting too fat a line going this way, so I'm turning around.
Yeah. Or that thing we do is like, whatever.
Uh-huh.
If your internal dialogue is saying something you don't want to listen to, whatever.
Uh-huh. Yeah, off you go and do something else.
You betcha. You have the control.
I had a really nasty dream last night. Can't remember much about it now, but I wish I'd thought of singing to that instead.
Even in your dreams, if you, it's like learning a new habit, and it's like painting. Keep doing it until you get it where you want it, where it works for you. It's like anything else. You are in control.
I think I need a bit more spots over there. Well, not that many.
So for me, it's like you can't, because something I would do also is I would take a paintbrush and paint away whatever I'm hearing. But you don't get to do that. So you have to come up with different sounds or different noises to replace the crap that you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Sing a song. Sing an annoying song.
I do love these sort of almost like lightning strikes along the back here. That's wonderful. That's a storm, obviously.
If you look at the yellow, where the yellow is and how it comes down into the water and spreads out,
it's raining. It's either snowing or raining, one or the other.
Yep. Gentle whitecaps. Stand back and take a look at it.
Yeah, there's some more over here.
Are you following a sort of line there, or are you just squiggling your own in?
I was squiggling my own in there because I want not just the streaks in the waves, but the other streaks in the waves, the ones that are like the foamy bits that coming over the top of here.
The overspray.
Yeah, exactly.
The drips and bits.
That's them. Some of these bits are a little bit too dull. I want to brighten them up a bit. I don't think I really want to do a great deal more to that. I will leave that for now. I'm quite happy with what I've got.
We're at we're almost at an hour and a half, and that's about 8 hours of rendering. So
yeah, so that's enough. That's enough.
That's enough. But yeah. I'd like to see you pull back and show both paintings.
I will. I'll just find out what happened to the button that I dropped earlier. Bring back the other one. Move the paint out of the way, because I will definitely make a mess if I don't. Move that one over that way a bit. This one over here. Move the bottle of water out the way and zoom out a bit. There we go. So let me move this over a bit.
Don't ask me to choose a favorite, though.
No, I think this one's my favorite. But there are things in this one that I like as well. I particularly like the sand here. But then this is a different kind of sand. I like that as well. I like the streaks in the waves, but I think I like that bit I corrected better than the rest of it. I like the foam. I still like the boat, actually. I thought it was going to be too big, too close to the waves, but it's working quite nicely.
No, I like the boat. The boat's good.
On this one, I think the shapes of the waves are better, but that's not me. That was the way the paint decided to go, so I just captured what it was doing. And I love the salty effect in the sky. It makes me think of a cold, cold sea.
I'm going to ask you to divert your light again, so I could see that bottom right corner there. Now I could see the full. Oh, that's nice.
And although I'm not a fan of pink, I quite like this, but then I really like this bit here as well. That blended in nice. I can't remember what colours I used. I think I'd have to look at the video again to find out. I might want to put some more lines in here later, but that's fine at the moment. And I really love this one. This rolling wave here. That's a beautiful shape, but not my intention. I love it now I see it, but the lovely paints. Thank you, lovely paints. And that was Roman Smalls. These lovely paints. I think these are my favourite paints, you know. I really do. I think they're about my favourite paints of the ones I've got, because there's quite a lot of granulating colours in there.
Yeah, you've used recently. You've used those, the Paul Rubens and the Schminkies.
The Schminkies, yes. The Schminkies was what I cut the test piece off from when I did the super granulating thing. That would be lovely in a sea, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. That's the Shire Green. Might I go with that? I'd like to do a sea that isn't face on. This is like standing on the beach looking out to the horizon. But that's not always how it is. Sometimes you find it is more sort of going this way, away from you, and you're at one edge, you know? So you've got more sand going over there, and you've got the waves beating just big ones here, and that's about it. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to do C, which I'm just getting into, so that's lovely. I'm really happy with those. Something I do want to do before we say goodbye.
Okay, I'll leave.
What's that? And that is put a little squiggle in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm always forgetting to do that.
Yeah.
One there. And one here. There we are. Nice and curvy. I heard somewhere that that these days a lot of the children are not learning to do handwriting. They're learning to use texting instead. Mm-hmm. And that people are worried that there's going to be a generation of children that won't be able to write. And what happens then when we get a burst from our son or some other son, taking out all the electronics, and nobody's going to be able to write anything anymore?
Well, not only that, but looking at documents, historical documents, they're not going to be able to read them because they don't know how to write that way, so they don't know how to read that way.
Exactly, yeah. But we still got at the moment got historians who do know, so let's just hope there's some that carry on with the discipline. Right, we are done for now. You're back. Good. I was going to tell you to come back. You're ahead of me. Okay, let me get my little button out. So let us say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I've just got to get my little button up to the right area. There we are. There we go.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.